Hey now! What is up, everybody? My name is Mike Brown, aka ReviewKingMB, and I've been watching these old original Marvel films in honor of Stan Lee and his passing. And man, this is the 1994 Fantastic Four, a movie that is almost infamous online and with comic book fans because not a lot of people have seen it. It was never released theatrically or officially. It somehow got out there and people have seen it online. That's how I just watched it. Woohoo! It pretty much was what I expected. It's produced by Roger Corman, who for years I thought he directed it because everybody would call this the Roger Corman Fantastic Four film. And yeah, he's a name. He's a guy that's directed movies like Little Shop of Horrors or Death Race 2000, many others. But yeah, you put his name on this movie, people are going to immediately remember and associate with that. But the actual director is this guy, Ole Sassoon. I don't know him. I don't know what he's done. But judging by this work, yikes. The plot is... honestly, the script is not something that I can tear apart. It's not great, but it's not something to where I look at the script and I think, wow, this isn't Fantastic Four at all. In fact, there's many aspects of the script that I would see them use and reuse later on in later Fantastic Four movies. So it's the usual origin story of our characters, Reed Richards, Sue Storm, just the whole gang and how they got their powers. Dr. Doom is once again the villain. And like I said, the script is what it is. You do see them go into space and get their powers and then get their, they come back on Earth and they're isolated by the government, but then they get out there and they save the world, so they become heroes. It's so traditional for Fantastic Four. Dr. Doom is shockingly presented in a decent way. Like the costume for 94 looks alright. And the biggest problem is the direction. I think this movie is executed poorly. The acting is for the most part dull, bland, and in some parts terrible. And the budget. The budget is nothing. It's like the lowest shoestring of a budget. I swear I could make this movie today and it would look better than what we got here. It's the costumes, the effects, seeing these characters use their powers. We just weren't ready. 1994 was not a good year for them to try to make this movie. Once again, I keep bringing up, imagine being Stan Lee. This was his first Marvel creation, the Fantastic Four. He looks at these characters like his babies, other than Spider-Man. And the fact that he had to watch this, if he did watch it, at least it wasn't on the big screen, but him watching this, I just couldn't imagine what he thought, just from a technical level. The actors, Mr. Fantastic is played by Alex Hyde White. Susan Storm is played by Rebecca Stabb. Jay Underwood plays Johnny the Human Torch, and this actor looked familiar. I was like, where do I know this guy from? I looked him up, and he plays the sleazy a-hole boyfriend in Uncle Buck. He's the dude that John Candy constantly goes after and tries to scare off with the blowtorch and whatnot, and catches him at the party with another girl. So it was just amusing to see him with bleach blonde hair as the Human Torch. And the Thing is played by Michael Bailey Smith. This actor was not good at all. He was his line delivery was rough to watch. When he actually turns into the Thing, when he's in costume, I know, very cheap, and it's 1994, but I didn't hate it. It looks worse in pictures. When you see it in pictures, you go, oh, wow, bad. Seeing it in motion, though, at least the mouth moves. At least you can see his eyes. I'm like, all right, I'm not going to be that picky when it comes to how the Thing looks. Seeing him get mad at Reed for what happened to him, he goes off. He feels lost. He He works with Doctor Doom for a second to try to turn himself human. That was in the 2005 movie with Jessica Alba. Like, they reused a lot of this stuff in past movies. Honestly, this is probably better than Fan Four Stick, the last Fantastic Four movie that we got back in 2015. Bad movie. And so, who knows? Maybe I would rather watch that one just because it's more up to date and effects and whatnot. But this one feels more true to the spirit of the characters and what they're trying to do. They even have Alicia, the Thing's would-be girlfriend, the blind girl, who I was like, wow, they really put like everything of the lore in this one movie. What can I say, though? The movie, it does drag a little bit because you don't see them become the Fantastic Four until an hour in. The movie's only an hour and a half long. You see them in their very cosplay, cheap-looking costumes for the last 15 minutes, seeing them go up against Doctor Doom in this one cave-like room. It just, there's not a lot of locations. There's not a lot of backdrops. There's not a lot to make this movie stand out as far as action goes, special effects goes. The effects of Mr. Fantastic stretching his arm out look really cheap. One scene where he marries Sue Storm and then his big giant stretchy arm is waving outside the limo. It looks horrible. But then there's a moment where Johnny Storm finally, you wait and you wait and you wait. He finally goes flame on, whole body is fire, and it looks like Windows 95 effects. I'm telling you, it's the effects, it's the execution, it's a lot of that to why this movie fails and doesn't work and just isn't all that watchable. But there are redeemable things about it. It just makes me think we could someday, one day, get a great Fantastic Four movie. There are materials there. The characters are interesting enough. I want to see Doctor Doom done on a level where he deserves. Surprisingly, this isn't the worst of these early Marvel movies. I fully expected it to be, but this is more watchable than Captain America. Let me know in the comments below if you've ever seen the Roger Corman Fantastic Four film. Do you think it sucks? Is it not as bad as you thought it was going to be? Should I continue reviewing some Marvel films that I haven't reviewed yet? Like, comment, subscribe. Excelsior!